why this female pro-abortion professor became pro-life. S.J. Thomason is a professor and administrator at the secular university called University of Tampa. She began her life as a financially conservative anti-communist Democrat who endorsed feminism and considered abortions a woman's right to choose, even if she never wanted to have one herself. First trimester abortions seemed acceptable to her since she thought fetuses were merely clumps of cells. Second trimester abortions were more dubious, though in the cases of rape or incest, she would have considered them acceptable. She appreciated autonomy and self-expression. She considered the patriarchy in the Catholic Church to be old-fashioned. She wanted female priests. S.J. said this in her younger years. Quote, "If a female friend wanted an early-term abortion, I would not stop her." End of quote. In fact, when one of her female friends found herself accidentally pregnant, S.J. drove her friend to get an abortion. S.J. waited for her friend in the car as the abortion was performed. She remembers the way her friend looked terribly sad and empty after having an abortion as she slowly walked out of the clinic. Her female friend is now in her 50s without any children and is living alone. What caused S.J. to change her mind about abortion was what she saw in an ultrasound while pregnant. She saw the beautiful body of her beloved son. He was no clump of cells. Yet during that ultrasound, the ultrasound technician noticed that her son had two soft markers for Down syndrome, echogenic heart and echogenic bowels. The technician said, quote, "Do not worry. If the amniocentesis results are positive for Down syndrome, you can always terminate the pregnancy." The thought of murdering her son was unbearable. S.J. and her husband agreed that regardless of the results, they would bring their son into the world. She spent the following days searching on the internet to learn more about Down syndrome, what it would be like to be a mother of a son with Down syndrome. The results of the amniocentesis test were negative, and she later gave birth to a fully healthy baby boy without Down syndrome. While the soft markers were there, they did not necessarily mean that her child had Down syndrome. People should be very cautious about soft markers. If S.J. had carried out the abortion, she would have ended the life of a healthy human child. Her son, Sean Thomason, knows the story. He said, quote, "They were going to abort me." End of quote. If S.J. would have gone through with the abortion, Sean would not be here today. Sean is now alive and happy to be alive, and is happily pursuing a university education at University of Tampa like other children his age. He is living proof that the soft markers for Down syndrome can be wrong. S.J. is now a Christian. S.J. now loves the Catholic Church. S.J. is now 100% pro-life. She now thinks abortion should be fully criminalized in order to protect the autonomy of the child in the womb. She also recognizes that human life begins at conception, which is in alignment with a study on over 5,000 biologists who overwhelmingly affirm that life begins at conception. The right to life is part of the Declaration of Human Rights, and therefore the child in womb has a right to live. S.J.'s two sons are also pro-life, where they also believe that the autonomy of the child in the womb should be respected and protected, and that human life begins at conception.